How many generations are in your workplace? 2, 3, 4? Some even have 5. And with all of those people in drastically different worldviews, sometimes the lines of communication can get a little jumbled. And if you've ever wanted to know what it takes to have effective cross-generational communication, then stay tuned because I've got a few tips that are heading your way. Hi, I'm Brandon, co-founder of Life's Secret Sauce, where we teach motivated professionals how to fast-track their careers, increase social confidence, and live an incredible life by leveraging the social skills that we should have learned in school, like storytelling, reading body language, and making a flawless first impression, rather than memorizing where on the tongue the sour and bitter and tasty the tongue taste map. I mean, it's not even correct. Show me a second grader that knows what umami is, and then we'll talk. Anyway, like I said, I want to talk about cross-generational conversations. And I'm going to go through 5 generations very quickly and a few conversation tips for each. Number 1, the traditionalists. Born between 1925 and 1945, this generation is patient, loyal, and hardworking. They follow rules and respect authority. They lived most of their lives without the digital technology that we have today, so face-to-face communication is extremely important. When speaking to a traditionalist, remember that they value hard work, and let them speak at their own pace, because the world moves a lot faster now than it did when they were 10 years old. Number 2, the baby boomers. Named after the influx of babies after World War II, this generation was born between 1946 and 1964. And in many cases, this is the upper management of most companies today. They were taught in a linear fashion from start to finish, and they take the same approach with most of their daily tasks. They're ambitious, yet the workaholic generation. And when speaking to a boomer, respect the time and effort that they have put into their careers. Showing up early and working late was ingrained in this generation, and they don't take lightly to slackers. Number 3, the forgotten generation, Gen Xers. Born between 1965 to 1980s, this generation is skeptical, self-reliant, and was the first to really start placing a value on work-life balance. They were shaped by huge scandals, major political changes, and the Cold War era, and have grown to believe that you need to take care of yourself. They're very self-sufficient, and they want you to counter your arguments with facts and figures. So be prepared to stand up to their test and their little bit of skepticism. Number 4, the millennials. Often with the worst bad rap in the media for being entitled and lazy, and don't get me wrong, lots of millennials absolutely are, but we are also enthusiastic and we're vocal about big change, and we place a massive value on the passion and purpose of our work. Many of us aren't content to slave away for the almighty dollar and would rather live a life our way. We're digital natives that prefer to work smarter, not necessarily harder, and sometimes that gets us in trouble with other generations because we fail to explain the quality of our work that we're able to in short amount of time. So it's a big communication gap. Number 5, and finally, the youngest generation entering the workforce today, Gen Z, or the I generation. Born anywhere between 2005 and present, they are incredibly tech savvy as they've lived with iPhones, Facebook, and Google for their entire lives. They're great at looking things up on the internet. However, they're also extremely skeptical as they've been influenced by fake news, opinion versus fact reporting. So when they question you and then look it up on their fancy internet device, let them do it. Just make sure that you're checking their sources afterwards. The generational divides in the workplace can be a huge bottleneck when it comes to workplace communication. But if everyone just slows down a bit, puts themselves in someone else's shoes, and realize that people's worldviews are created when they're about 10 years old, then we'll all be a little bit more understanding, empathetic, and we can communicate much more clearly and effectively. Want to know more about cross-generational conversations and how to put yourself in the spotlight in that career so you are seen as the go-to person in your office? Then check out our brand new course, Millennial Magnetism. We talk about all of this at a much greater level of detail, as well as first impressions, body language, networking, and everything else that you should have been taught in school to succeed in life. If you know someone who could use some help with these types of conversations or have a varied workforce, be a pal, send them this link. They will thank you for it. Remember, sharing is caring. That's how we're able to get the word out. It only takes a second for you, but it literally means the world to us. And let us know in the comments below, what are your favorite tips for communicating with different generations? Lastly, if you like what we're about, click subscribe right down there in the corner so that you never miss a video. You can always check us out on the web, www.lifesecretsauce.com. Until next time, ciao for now.